OMG, baby, tell him.
All right. Hey there. Welcome to Powered by Backers. I am here. Once again, it's Justin. I am joined by Graham Williamson. Graham, thank you very much for joining me.
My pleasure, Justin. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So we'll jump right into it. I think we'll have I think we're talking about sports and sports uniforms, so that's right up my alley. So Graham, you are the CEO of Gitch Sportswear. You've been doing it for about 12 years, as you said. So Gitch is a custom sports uniform, manufacturer, producer, provider?
We manufacture and distribute ourselves. So we handle the whole process from beginning to end.
Cool. And a George Brown grad?
Yes, that's correct.
Perfect. Awesome. So welcome to the show. Where are you located? Just quickly, are you in the GTA, Toronto, or where?
Yeah, we're in Toronto. We're in North York, just around Yorkdale Mall area.
Okay. Not too upscale, not too downscale.
Yeah.
Are you right in Yorkdale? Do you guys do like diamond encrusted jerseys or what?
No, not yet. I've had a few requests, but we've never got into anything.
I was kidding. Seriously, you've had somebody request diamond?
Yeah. No, we get tons of requests for different things like that. Be dazzling things and jewels like that all the time.
So let's jump right into it. What's the craziest request that you've ever gotten for a sports uniform?
For sports uniforms, people want to do a team where one of the members was, I think his name was Bob, and they wanted this picture as the logo, Bob's face having a big smile right on the front. So, that was something we were able to do. Fortunately, everything we do is completely custom made and designed, and we're able to take some of those wacky requests sometimes. So that's kind of the fun side of what we do here and there.
Cool. That's cool. So having your, I could imagine even sort of a memorial type event. Maybe you'd want that person's, face on the jersey as well. Sure. It'd be kind of interesting. Cool. Okay. So you're a sports fan. I'm going to jump right. Yeah. Who are your teams? What are you missing most right now due to COVID? Which sport and who are your teams?
It's got to be the playoffs, NHL playoffs right now. I think for July,
27th, I think they're starting.
Yeah, so I'm just aching to see some hockey, really, to be honest with you. I love all the teams. I'm more of a guy who likes players. I like, Crosby and Ovechkin and those guys. Not necessarily a team guy, but I really like the different players and the different personalities that come along with them in the NHL for sure.
Yeah. So you're missing the NHL. So you're a hockey fan, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm also a hockey fan. You may know or not know, I started or tried to start my own 3-on-3 pro hockey league. It's kind of on hold. We kind of had to make some adjustments, but hopefully we'll come back soon.
We're big fans. We've been watching the progress of the league there. It's very impressive, and we actually know a few of the players in the loop as well.
Oh yeah, who do you know? Who do you know that players?
In the Toronto team, I used to go to school with a guy named Eric Wiseman. I think.
Okay.
Thing or the B team.
Toronto Bees, yeah.
Toronto Bees, yeah. So a few guys from there, and a couple from the Kitchener through business. We know a couple guys that are on the Kitchener team as well. So
awesome. Well, that's actually why I started Backers. So I was trying to figure out how to fund the 3HL. Came across the notion of the Green Bay Packers having sort of like a community-owned team, and at the time in 2014 that didn't really exist. Like you weren't able to have more than I think 50 investors in a private corporation. Right. But in 2016 the rules changed, and that's sort of why I started Backers. Was I was looking around to see where I could actually facilitate the equity crowdfunding. And there really wasn't anything available. So I thought, hey, you know what? I'm gonna build my own crowdfunding platform, and then I can fund the teams on the 3HL. So that's kind of been the trajectory. So we will be back. The 3HL will be funded on Backers. And basically what will happen is people from those communities, so you mentioned Toronto or Kitchener or London, will actually be able to invest in those teams and be shareholders or owners in their local team. Every team. So now, so people in London can potentially buy shares, so you can have tens of thousands of local shareholders who are owners of that team. So they become, they're your biggest fans, right? Your super fans. So
that's really cool.
Yeah. So that was that was the reason I started Backers. Obviously, Backers has now grown into a much sort of bigger entity, and we're just rolling out a few cool, I guess, campaigns. We've got the next Uber company by the name of Ego that's going to be coming out, and a couple others. So it's kind of exciting to help small businesses, right? As a crazy entrepreneur myself, I love helping entrepreneurs. So let's jump into your background. What got you into Gitch Sportswear? What was your crazy sort of inception story, if you will?
So I was always, like, since 15, I was always working at hockey schools, coaching kids, playing myself, of course.
Yeah.
And basically, me and my partner, Vitaly, we started off with one product. It was just a bamboo T-shirt. And that was all we had. And we would sit outside of hockey rinks during tournaments every weekend. Every single weekend we could. We were selling these T-shirts. They were a huge hit. People loved them. People, couldn't get enough. We couldn't keep up with the demand. And that's really where we got our start. We got our connections, and we got fans from that. And, these people who loved our bamboo shirts started asking us, do you guys have a hoodie? Do you guys have a tracksuit? Do you guys have this or that? And, we looked around, and everybody's wearing the same thing. You have whatever manufacturer it is, you have the same tracksuit with a different team logo. Maybe it's a different color, it's black, blue, red, depending on your team, but it was always the same items, just different logos. And we thought, there has to be something that make the team stand out better, to feel more like a team, not to look like everybody else there. And we dove into looking at completely custom apparel, uniforms, bags, and accessories. And that's where we started. So from the single T-shirt line that we had, we added a tracksuit and a hoodie. And the same kind of thing, we sat outside of the tournaments. We raised the awareness about what we're doing and what we offer. And it just bloomed and snowballed from there. And now we have a full lineup: jerseys, shells, and socks for on ice, winter jackets, hoodies, a full lineup for off ice. We take care of hockey teams and different corporations and sports teams from head to toe, on ice, on court, and off ice, off court as well. And it's been 12 years of that. And, it's just a lot of referrals, word of mouth, and just us grinding and being in touch with everybody to make sure that our designs are contemporary, something the kids want to wear. And again, it's very important for us that our customers look different than everybody else and have a completely custom, unique look to, their swag, their uniforms, their apparel is all completely custom. You're not going to see anybody else doing the kind of stuff that we offer.
That's awesome. I love it. So I'm gonna go right back to the beginning of the story. What did you take at George Brown, just out of curiosity?
Liberal arts and sciences.
Okay, so not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I thought maybe it would be like sports marketing or management. No. Okay, but okay. So you had a bamboo T-shirt. I think that's really cool. What gave you the connection, or like how did you get a bamboo T-shirt? Like I wouldn't even. Yeah. First of all, I was thinking like. I was joking in my mind, it's going to be kind of hard to get into the bamboo shirt, but obviously it's bamboo cloth. But what was the design on it? Where did you get those made? Like, did you have a connection from somebody that you knew, or what was sort of that tie-in?
Yeah, it was a lot of knocking on doors, finding the right suppliers, finding the right blend of material.
So what gave you the idea? Let's go even further back, like the inception of like, hey, I want to sell bamboo T-shirts.
Yeah, so the company is named Gitch. If you're familiar, like my coach used to tell me, get your Gitch on, get your underwear. So we wanted to make stuff for the players that they would love to be wearing under their gear, warming up, training, whatever it is. We did all our research. We found bamboo was moisture wicking, antibacterial. Right. It was a great lightweight material. We looked at all the different cuts and the different, styles that we could do, and we worked through it. And, it was a 1.5-year process to design this shirt. I still wear them now from 10 years ago. It's such a fantastic shirt.
Okay, cool.
And I still have people calling in and asking and looking for this shirt. It's not something we do. We've moved on to different shirts and different things like that. But, that product, it was really a proof of concept for us that we can, put our ear to the ground, see what the people would want and need and would like, and go and manufacture it for our customers and our clients.
So you don't still produce the bamboo shirt?
Don't do the bamboo one. We do now. It's called modal, which is a beech tree. Very similar idea.
Same.
Bamboo or modal is very similar. And it's just like, it's just the evolution of our offerings from the bamboo to now it's a modal, which is also a sustainable beech tree.
Yeah, and so it has all the same properties of,
It has all the same things.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a little more stretch and elast into it, but cool. Both shirts, the bamboo shirt was fantastic for us, and the new modal one has been great, flying out to teams all over North America.
So that's cool. So it's sort of like you saw, potentially a demand or a need.
Absolutely.
You met that with a sort of a unique, concept with the bamboo shirt. I was thinking it was more like a t-shirt to be worn outside, but like you said, it's more for under your gear, kind of like that to wick away the moisture.
Absolutely. We're always thinking and focused on players, what they need, what they want, getting feedback. Me and my partner have been involved with hockey for a long time, like I said, instructing and coaching. So, we always had players that listening and it's really about keeping our ear to the ground and knowing what the customer wants.
Do competitors use bamboo at all? Like, I don't want to say their name, but you could probably, it's under somebody's
no, I don't think they have. I've never seen a bamboo shirt from them.
Or even model or like anything of that nature. No,
I haven't seen them. I know, outside of the sports world, some people are using it.
Yeah.
But inside the sports world, I haven't come across it yet.
Right.
And that's I think what sets us apart is just being unique like that and finding the right materials to make the products. Yeah,
for sure. It's interesting. They literally built a business on underwear and t-shirts under your gear, right? So that's and so have you. So that's cool. I like it. So now you've kind of branched into like uniforms and like actual hoodies or other apparel, right? So tell us a little bit about like what was that transition? Because I'm you're a lot of the people that are going to be watching this are probably entrepreneurs themselves. They're looking at starting a business. What's the transition? You've got a successful call it one SKU business, right? And now you're sort of like, how did you go about there? And I'm sure you're gonna have, you probably hit some, made some mistakes along the way. But like, tell us a little bit about that transition from one SKU to a full on full-fledged business that doesn't do that SKU anymore. Yeah, ironically, it doesn't do that SKU. Right? Yeah. So
we started with that. Yeah, like I say, we were just always so in touch with everybody, right? So everybody wanted, a custom hoodie. The custom hoodie and tracksuit was the first one we did. And that was just demand, and it was based off our t-shirts. Like, we're pride ourselves in customer service and being available to talk and discuss things with people. And they just loved that shirt, and they asked us for more. They demanded more. I didn't want to just go out and get one of those competitors' tracksuits and slap a logo on it. I wanted to go and make our own. I wanted to source material. I wanted to make the right cut that's going to be modern and that the kids are going to like wearing, the coaches and families are going to like wearing. So that was the whole process. It was a really a demand from our customers. Hey, we're sick of these hoodies that look the same as everybody else, have a screen print on it, no personalization, no player numbers or anything along those lines. And it was just boring, right? I remember going to the rink and like I say, you see everybody walk by with the same hoodie. It might be a different color and it certainly has a different logo, but there was nothing fun or exciting or, giving teams that sense of a team feeling by wearing the same thing as every other team out there. So we really wanted to make that feeling of a team and unity through the apparel, the uniforms, feeling good, looking good and playing good by having the right apparel and swag. Right.
Cool. So let's dive into that a little bit. You mentioned you kind of did a year and a half of research for the bamboo. If you're starting to look into apparel, like what's the I'm trying to think the main sort of apparel t-shirt and hoodie maker is what's the generic one that everyone's kind of has?
It's like a Gildan or
Gildan. That's the one.
Gildan.
Yeah, Gildan.
So that's like nothing against them. I use them for all the time for the different situations.
Right.
But it's off the rack and it's a stock item that you're decorating, right?
Right.
When you do my hoodie, we're gonna sit down. I'm gonna present you 8 different designs.
So where do you get those designs made then? Like, do you actually?
Yeah, we're creating in-house. So myself and my whole team, everybody can draw and design these products at the drop of a hat.
And where are they manufactured? Do you have a facility there?
Yeah, so the beginning, the main years of our business, the first 6 years, was just about purchasing this factory. And now we own this factory overseas.
Okay.
And we're producing it. I hired the quality control, the production manager reports to me. It's not a third-party factory or production. It's our production.
Where is it based?
And it's out of Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. Okay, cool. So that's pretty amazing, though. I'm going to just say congrats to you. You've actually gone and purchased, and now you run end-to-end basically your whole infrastructure.
Exactly.
Right?
If anybody's ever tried to go to China or overseas to make something, create something, they know it's a complete nightmare. It's very difficult. Communication is difficult. Customer service is not there. You know, there's no returns or follow-up after you receive your order. They can go completely dark and you'll never hear from them again. And, you know, we faced those problems on the early years of producing hoodies and tracksuits and things like that. We faced those problems.
Right.
And through trial and error, we figured, you know, we need to get a better handle on production. We need to be running production and not outsourcing it in the traditional way that most companies are doing it.
Again, like I say, congratulations. That seems like a huge milestone.
It was, and honestly, it was a lot of sacrifice. We spent 5-6 years on a personal level, not taking any money, putting it back into the company, putting it towards the factory, putting it towards designs, sourcing materials, and things like that. You know, the first 6 years was a lot of hard work without the necessary rewards that usually come with selling apparel.
Right.
We sacrificed that, and it's been able to get us in the position that we are today.
Cool. So how long has that been in operation now?
Yeah, it's about 6 or 7 years with our one factory in place. Okay. We did, 2 years with them before we took it over and purchased it and put the people in place. And yeah, then it's been 6 years kind of under our control and our handling of everything, right?
So do you go over there personally all that often? Or?
Yeah, not too often. It's not necessary. I hire companies that are third party to go in and do quality control.
Right.
All of our workplace ethics and standards are above and beyond the requirements. So there's another company that handles that for us that's over there. It's just not practical to be going there 2 or 3 times a year sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's very important that we find the right people to kind of check in on things and make sure everything's up to par on that end.
That's interesting. So I didn't expect this conversation to sort of go this direction. I thought we'd be talking more about sports. But I think it's really cool that you've been able to buy a factory. So that, I mean, I don't know of many small businesses that are able to go and then, as you said, you're sourcing, QA control, QC control, or I guess QC is control, the C is control, quality control, quality assurance, all that stuff, right? And you're getting that done sort of remotely by third parties, but you own and operate essentially the facility yourself.
Yes,
right?
Correct.
And so I assume you've been there at least once or twice, over the years, right? So I guess I'm going to go a completely different direction. Any thoughts on buying a summer home in Bangladesh?
It would make those trips easier.
Yeah.
No, I've never had that thought, to be honest with you, but that could be something.
Vacation in sort of Southeast Asia, right?
Then I won't be focused. I'll be wanting to go to the factory. I won't enjoy any downtime. I'll just be over there working on new stuff.
No, you could jump off to like Bali or Thailand or I'm sure they got great beaches in Bangladesh too, right?
No, sure. It could be a very good time.
Enjoy. I lived in Thailand for a bit. I lived in Korea. So I love it over there. I've been to China as well. I've done some international trade with companies in China, so I have a little bit of experience in what you're referring to. It can be very difficult at times to especially the communication barrier. Or I think the biggest one isn't so much the communication, it's the integrity maybe, or the who you're dealing with, right? And that that can be brought into question. A lot of I'm not saying across the board, but you can get sort of duped, as they say, right? Or kind of screwed over, right?
there's so many manufacturers over there. It's very hard to find the good ones. And I'm not going to say that there aren't good ones.
Oh, there's lots of good ones for sure.
There's definitely a ton of good ones, but it's just so saturated that it's hard to find sometimes. And usually the ones that are advertising the most or reaching out the most are the ones who are not the reliable ones or the accountable ones.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So it's the ones who you don't necessarily can't just find by Google searching, you know, production in China.
Yeah.
It's those, the good ones are a little harder to find. And that's kind of the process that we went through for the few years. We definitely hit some speed bumps dealing with some less than, desirable.
Less than desirable, for sure. For sure. Yeah. So, okay, let's go. I want to get back into sports. I think it's really awesome. You've got your own factory. Obviously, you know, congratulations. It sounds like you guys are doing really well. What are some of the sports or like sports type apparel that you guys currently work with? Hockey, obviously.
So we do
other
hockey.
Jerseys.
Yeah, we do soccer. We do baseball, basketball. We've done some rugby. And yeah, that's the basic lineup there. And we aim to offer everybody, like I say, the uniform for the gameplay and the off-ice apparel.
Okay.
The apparel and the bags, you know, it crosses a lot of borders, right? My carry-on bag, which fits in the carry-on and goes through the X-ray machine, can be used for a law firm. It can be used for a hockey team. It crosses a lot of borders. And again, people just love the custom side of things, right? That's what's very appealing to them. Is creating something and putting their touches on it, and not just being, you know, put something in front of them.
I got a fun question.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous person that's ever worn a Gitch sportswear apparel and or jersey?
We'll have to look. In the early days, we had Malkin take a nice picture with a hat and a shirt on of ours.
Okay, cool.
My partner's Russian, and he came over here when he was 13, so he had some good connections. His dad was a coach back there. They went back one summer and they brought some Gitch, and we got Malkin with a great picture with the hat and the shirt on.
Nice.
But yeah, you know, I think for us, it's more on the amateur side, really. You know, not a lot of pros.
So you're not supplying any like pro sports teams at all, or is that even in the realm, or where? I'll ask a different question before you answer. Where do you see Gitch going in the future? Is pro, or what? Like, what's sort of your next 6 years looking like?
I would love to. We're currently doing with the Toronto Rock. They just did the face masks and the gaiters for the fan store. They did 1,000 pieces for the fan store to do there. You know, OHL is going well for us. The Peterborough Petes, again, currently doing masks and gaiters. They're selling out every couple of weeks with those.
Okay.
So, you know, for us as a small company, it's been hard to kind of break into those barriers. You know, OHL, not necessarily interested in listening to some smaller company from Toronto, but we're making headway in that sense that
they hate Toronto because they're all from all these other cities, right? They're like,
that's my.
I can swear, but they're like, "Fuck you, Toronto guys. We want the London supplier or the Owen Sound supplier, right?"
That's exactly right. That's our first hurdle. But you know, I have sales reps who are on the ground in those areas now, and it's been able to facilitate some of those relationships a little bit better. Instead of me calling from head office in Toronto, you know, I got a guy out in Peterborough who just crushes and makes tons of sales out there, and that's his territory, and he can pop into the Pete's rink and see Don Sharp over at the Pete's and see how it's going and check up on him. So
it's
that's
interesting.
been a big help.
So you mentioned the Rock. So I love lacrosse. I played lacrosse growing up. Probably not the greatest at it, but I loved it. Like any athlete, you wish you were better. You were never going anywhere, but you tried your hardest.
For sure.
You mentioned the Rock, so that's cool. The gaiters. Explain to me what you meant about the masks or the gaiters. I think you're referring to some sort of like alternate mask type thing, right?
Yeah, so that's the basic face mask.
Okay.
Again, completely custom, sublimated on the front, whatever design you want, personalized, anything along those lines, right?
Is that what you were referring to with the gaiters? Is that what you meant by gaiters?
No, the gaiter is like a neck sleeve.
Oh, okay.
Grab one for you, one sec.
Yeah. Graham's just going to be right back. He's going to grab the neck sleeve gaiter. I'm filling some time here. How is everyone out there? You guys doing great? I'd love you to drop a comment down below, actually. Let me know what your thoughts are on Powered by Backers. And if you'd like to join us, hit us up. You can send us an email at team@backers.ca. There we are. Graham is back. I was just giving them a little bit of a, I don't know, a musical interlude kind of there.
For sure.
Yeah.
This is our
Go
neck
ahead. Yeah.
gaiter. So it's like basically you're wearing it on your neck. It's a little more practical at times if you're in and out, or you're pulling it up, you're pulling it down. You can put it over your head. There's 15 different ways to use them. And with COVID, it's kind of a little more fashionable than a mask.
Yeah.
And it's also, it's just more, there's more uses to it than just putting it on your face.
So not to be political, I hate wearing a mask.
Yeah.
I do it because I have to. I don't really, I physical distance pretty much all the time.
Right.
But I thought about cutting the sleeve off of a t-shirt and just using it upside down, because I see people with those kind of, so that's essentially the professional version of what I was trying to mock up on my own. So how much does something like that go for?
So online right now, we have pre-made ones for $15.
You can buy on your website?
Yeah, so we have gswcoverings.com, which is currently open and operating with masks and gaiters.
Cool. I have another domain called Mask Me. I was thinking about creating masks. You wanna ship us a bunch of masks?
Yeah,
sell it on Mask Me.
Absolutely.
Like Mask Me, no questions, telling me no lies.
Yeah, this has been a pivot for us, and
that's cool though. So you can customize it too. How much does it cost to customize it?
So you get a minimum. You have to do 10 pieces, and then the price goes actually down from the stock designs. You're around $12 a piece.
Okay.
And that's completely custom, whatever design you want to do. It's a fully sublimated product, so you can cover every inch of it with as much or as little as you want. The price isn't changing.
Okay, cool. So, well, I'll ask the final question, but just before I get to that, tell everyone like where they can connect with you and Gitch, and where, like you mentioned, what did you say it was, GSW Coverings was obviously for the masks, right?
Yeah, gswcoverings.com is for our
Where's your website?
Our current website is getgitch.com.
Okay.
And on social media everywhere is Gitch Sportswear.
Gitch Sportswear, so on Twitter, Instagram,
yeah, they're all the same,
Facebook?
exactly the same. Gitch Sportswear, one word.
Perfect.
And you can see a lot of the stuff we're doing there. It's mask and gaiters these days, but if you scroll in the timeline a little bit, you'll see the hoodies and the jerseys and and all that stuff, right? Because we just made the pivot with the masks and the gaiters.
It's great that you've been able to pivot, because obviously you're making apparel. Yeah. The mask is the new apparel, right? That's the newest fashion trend, right?
We say it's going to be like your underwear. You're going to need, everyone needs at least like 5-10 pairs. You're always going to need one wherever you're going out, I think, in the new world that we're going to experience very shortly.
Yeah, I think we're in it already. I think we're in the new norm, or that,
Normal,
it's, cool. Well, so I'll end it with and again, thank you for joining me, but
thank you for having me.
I'll end it with the sort of the question I ask everybody. If you could go back and talk to, a younger you, or, sort of impart advice to an entrepreneur starting out, what would that sort of one word, or what would that advice be?
I think it's sacrifice. You're going to know just as well as anybody. It's not, you're not going to make $1 million in your first year, right? For years, we broke even and pumped money back into the company, and there's a lot of sacrifice. There was a ton of time. Like I mentioned earlier, we didn't have any weekends because we were always at the tournaments, Right. There's a ton of sacrifice, and I think people are hesitant or worried about doing that. Oh, what am I going to do about, paying bills and this and that? I mean, at some point you have to take a little bit of a leap. You have to have some faith in yourself, and there's a lot of sacrifice. I think sacrifice would be the number one word, because that's what it takes. Honestly, it's a long road, and there's plenty of times, I thought about doing something else or moving on or whatever it may be, and I couldn't be more thankful that I stuck with it and went through that sacrifice and the tough times to be where we are today. Yeah. 12 years later, almost now, and you have to sacrifice and put the time in. Yeah,
agreed.
Sure.
Agreed. It's a long haul. It's they joke it's a 12-year overnight success, right?
Yeah.
Or overnight success that took 12 years in the making, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Well, congratulations to you,
Thank you so much.
Graham, on all the success. Hopefully continued success. You know, so everyone check out Gitch at the various, you know, Gitch at Gitch Sportswear and you know, the various websites. Again, Graham, thank you very much for joining me. Everyone else, oh, sorry, go ahead. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Justin.
All right. I always interrupt people. I apologize. Everyone else, I will see you guys. This is powered by Backers. I will see you guys again
OMG,
soon.
baby, tell them.